Not bad.
It looked really good.
What? Thank you. Okay. Well, let me not screw it up. All right. Hey, this week, the batch finally uses the F word. Tech's second most important moment in the entire series. And Mara Jade is kind of making us crazy, but not for the reasons you might think. So we've got all that and more coming up this week on your Star Wars Safe. I think I might have hit it too early.
Safe.
Safe.
Safe Space. You guys know what it is. Hey there, Star Warriors. Welcome to Star Wars Safe Space, your non-toxic, low-sodium Star Wars show that doesn't make you feel bad for not knowing that the crime lord Mako, he's a brand new species specifically made for this episode of the Bad Batch, and he is still yet unnamed. His species is unnamed. We don't know exactly who he is or where he comes from, but we know where he went. Yikes. So just like Yoda and Grogu, still species unknown. So whether you're a hardcore fan or just a little swarzy curious, this is your Star Wars safe space. We are the Circle of Nerds, and we do love Star Wars, even if we don't always like it. So let's meet the Circle of Nerds here, shall we? From the Mid-Rim territories, it's the Astrology Jedi.
Hello, thank you so much for having me back. Very happy to be here. Also, fun fact about my hat, if you like it, George Lucas wore it first, so he gets the fashion credit.
What?
I can't take it.
All right.
It's a replica of a hat that he wore on set during Attack of the Clones, I believe. It could have been Phantom Menace, though. You know what? Maybe it's Phantom Menace. Sorry for not knowing. I'm running on not a lot of sleep, but
That's
George
okay.
wore it first. So
Look, he's got some like general stars on there or something. All right.
I don't know why. I don't know the meaning, but I saw the replica and I'm like,
you know what? Hey, it's Swarzy. It's Swarzy. That's all that matters, right? All right, and hailing from parts unknown, it is T to the Oni.
Welcome back to the Galaxy, everybody. Some interesting episodes here. What some people would call filler, we like to call prologue, as we know. Yeah, let's have some fun and get into it.
All right, going to be a good time. We got a lot to talk about tonight. And the pilot captain of the infamous Parma Flyer, also our Facebook marshal, getting people with the band blaster. It's Crash.
Hey, everybody. It's been a busy week. It's Comic-Con, and there's a lot of news coming out. So let's lock in those S-foils and get at it.
All right, so speaking of news, let's do that, because I definitely want to talk about the Mara Jade thing. We've got, like you said, we got some Comic-Con news, and there's some Grogu news that I wanted to talk about as well. So who's up first? We didn't plan this very well. So
you brought it up. Why don't you just lead us into the Mara Jade thing?
Okay, so Mara Jade is getting a little bit of a rework. Right, but coming out, is it a trading card game?
It's an online game. It's called Galaxy of Heroes.
Oh, that's right.
It's you pick your team of players.
Mm-hmm.
They've mostly been from the current canon universe, but they're starting to introduce. Hey, some of our Facebook friends.
Hey, welcome there, Nick.
Yeah, so you pick your players, and they've been slowly working in little Easter eggs from the Legends canon. Starkiller. One of the characters they're going to be adding is your favorite Darth Jar Jar, but especially now they've had Mara Jade before,
right?
In her classic black leather with the cape and the purple lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
This outfit sparked a little, controversy because a lot of fanboys out there didn't know she has another look. And
she has different clothes, guys. I mean, she's not just wearing one outfit.
And this is her outfit from most of the New Jedi Order series when she's not dressing like an assassin, and I can prove that if you want to come back to the four of us real quick. Come back to the four of us real quick.
Oh, okay.
Because I pulled this out of the archives. Shannon McRandall, who used to do the modeling for Mara Jade for the the role play trading card game.
Hey, and there she is. There's the outfit
in the green outfit. So this is literally from 2002, 2003 era. This is if you don't know this is Mara Jade, then you're telling us something without telling us something. I just think it's interesting that there was a controversy about her being in a different outfit than her black leather gear.
Right. And Nicholas, Facebook friend, says that he thinks that she looks great, and she does.
Oh, yeah.
One thing I do want to point out, because Screen Rant did an article about this, and I'm going to rant about Screen Rant. They did the most clickbaity article, and it was, the headline was like, after 30 years, Disney finally recognizes Mara Jade and blah, blah. No one ever didn't not recognize Mara Jade. She's just not officially canon at the moment. So even with this game, we just want people to know and understand that, we're calling it kind of like canon adjacent, because anything that's not film or television could be decanonized at will. So this doesn't mean that we're going to see her in any films or animated series or anything like that, but it's nice to have her back on the block.
It's just a timeless, because you play a game versus another group of characters. If I kill off Darth Vader, it doesn't mean he's really dead, or
Right.
It's just, you took out that particular player. So it's just nice that and they've done this before. They've had action figures of Mara Jade. I think they did a black series of her recently.
They did.
So it's not that they're ignoring her. They're not retconning her out of existence, and they're not retconning the sequel trilogy by introducing her yet.
No.
So it's just, hey, we know there's these characters from outside the canon that you guys like. We're bringing that to you too.
That's a really nice nod of them to do. I love that.
It is. They did get us all a little excited, because they released her lightsaber at Galaxy's Edge.
Yes.
And of course, nerds do what nerds do, and we're just, we start speculating like, oh, they wouldn't just drop it for no reason. This has got to be a hint. They're signaling to something. Mara Jade's coming, y'all. But no, they just know that there's Mara Jade fans. And Folly, as you said, not only is it a nice nod to have her in the game, but how cool is it to release her lightsaber?
Yeah, and honestly, I would have read it. I would read into that too. But so I'm with everybody who read into it. Maybe, and they didn't say, they haven't issued an official statement saying like, don't read into this, guys, right? So
they didn't say she's not gonna be in anything. They just haven't said that she's gonna be in anything.
Door is still open.
The door is still open, and I do hope that they do so. And they could still put her in the timeline right now as it is. They don't need to retcon anything. There's still a significant gap of time between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. There's still 30 years there where Luke could have met Mara. I mean, they still could do the whole Emperor's Hand thing. And, right now Luke is, was training Grogu, but that doesn't mean that Mara couldn't have tracked him down there. And Filoni, come on, guy.
Again, it's Comic-Con, so they did announce. I don't know if you can pull up that one Crossroads title. There's a new book that they've announced. We got the cover art for, which goes more into depth about when Leia was training to be a Jedi. We don't have a lot of plot details, but this alone hints back to that flashback from Rise of Skywalker, where we saw her train. So we're going to see. Apparently, a short synopsis I read says that Luke and Leia go on a mission to Coruscant, and somehow she finds her kyber crystal, and that's, which again, if you guys remember when I went to Galaxy's Edge, she and Luke are at Disneyland on Batuu searching for relics, Jedi relics. So this could be a tie-in that could, I ain't saying nothing. I'm just saying, if a certain redhead were to be in the background,
it's possible.
There is wiggle room to work, and because they can do it in books and comics, because you can't do it with Mark is too old, and unfortunately Carrie's no longer with us.
Right. Yeah, it'd have to be comics or animation. I would love to see a Tales series about this. I mean, hell yeah, you could definitely do a Tales series with the whole Hand of the Emperor and the whole thing with Luke and all that. It's doable. It can still be done. She's a fan favorite, and that entire storyline was beloved. They're going to have to obviously tweak it because there are no solo children during this period, but yeah. And Nicholas says, I mean, they could also put her in the other galaxy that Ahsoka is trapped in right now.
Yeah,
that's good.
That's a good point, dude. I mean, it's like, and everything's on the table if they want to. Everything's on the table.
If they want to go live action, I mean, they have Sebastian Stan's phone number.
They do. I agree. I think he would be a great Luke. I think he could pull it off. I think he could absolutely pull it off. And speaking of Grogu, man, it's such a bad idea. But there is a brand new,
oh my God,
1-for-1 life-size animatronic Grogu.
Oh no.
From Hasbro Plus. And I just watched this thing with Adam Savage has his YouTube channel where he talks about stuff, you know, and he's a big dork like the rest of us. Look, it comes with the wafers.
Shut up.
Yeah.
If my niece and nephew are watching this right now, I think I just saw like $600 disappear from my account. I think it's already
it does.
Mom, if you're watching, maybe.
It does retail for $600. I do have it in my cart currently because it's on pre-order. Hopefully this isn't like too loud, but I mean, come on.
Okay, that's borderline adorable.
He's to scale, right?
He's to scale.
Oh my God.
So he is to scale. Nicholas says that is hecking cute. Amy says hi, Amy.
Oh my goodness.
And so I was watching the thing with Adam Savage, and they had two of the engineers that worked on the development, and they talked about all the things that Grogu can do. Like if you're speaking, Grogu will turn towards you. Like he's voice responsive, kind of like if you're familiar with Lola here, she's kind of like voice activated too. So when you speak, she'll move around and she'll start doing stuff. But he walks, as you saw. He actually like moves around a little bit. He asks for uppies. It's so bad. And he has like multiple points of articulation. It's just, look at him.
So it's on pre-order. When does it come out?
I think it was April 2027.
April 1st, 2027.
Yep.
Okay.
Now for the true hardcore collectors out there, what I would suggest, do get this. Hasbro Plus is not sponsoring this, although you guys could.
Hasbro, if you're watching this, we know that you are.
I know they are. I know they've got reps watching this. So Sideshow currently, who takes all of my money, Sideshow has the rondelle and pouch little accessory kit for their already existing life-size Grogu, and it looks way better than this. It's much more realistic looking. So I would say if you want to really go hard, get this little guy and then replace his accessories with the ones from Sideshow Collectibles.
That's a pro tip.
Yeah.
Not to mention, they need to do a little side package for all the Mandalorian cosplayers of the little grenades that light up. If those things light up, the Mando ones, he always just.
Yeah, well, that comes with this. That's included. Right. One of those little detonators they come with.
I need a box of those at like Doc Ondars or something where you could just buy a bunch of grenades to put on your belt.
Yeah, seriously. And like when you,
I'll send you an Etsy link later.
And when you pat his head, that's how you wake him up, is you pat him on his head. And if you interact with him, he'll like squeeze your fingers. I mean, it's like he does all kinds of stuff. And the developers are saying that they interact with each other. So if you've got like a few Grogus like standing around, they they start
Are you serious?
interacting with each other. Yeah, they said it's like wrangling cats in the lab sometimes because they're testing different things out on different models, and they're just kind of all over the place. So if you get a chance, watch Adam Savage's channel, and he's got a whole feature on it. I think that came out today. So Star Wars just keeps taking our money.
So what I'm hearing is they need to make one of those for Stitch from Lilo and Stitch, another one for Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon, and have all three of them like talking to each other.
Oh my god, can you imagine? You got to get a droid in there too.
Oh my god, get BD1.
Yeah.
BD1, let's go. He's the right size.
He is the right size. He is the right size. And Lola, make a better Lola. This Lola she's great, but I think they could. This is 1 for 1, and she does all kinds of cool stuff. But I think that they could probably make one that's a little more responsive. But yeah, I haven't showed this to Sherry yet, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to figure that out later. I don't know.
We'll know when he's like doing the show from his garage.
That might, yeah. But you know what? I'll be out there with the Grogu. Keep me company. It's okay. But then I have my other Grogu. I mean, it's like wife, animatronic doll. It's like, well, this is a different kind of animatronic doll. I mean, there's other animatronic dolls out there that husbands could get, but no, those are really pricey. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about the show, shall we? Or did we have something else? I thought we had a third thing. Comic-Con, right? Was there news coming out of Comic-Con?
Just the book and the Marjade. They're re-releasing the original novelizations of the original trilogy next year for the 50th anniversary, obviously with new covers and all. Mm-hmm. And we were having a conversation before the show this afternoon. Yeah, I didn't realize the novels came out before the movie.
Yeah,
back in '77, and I was like, that blows my mind because nowadays, the novel like that, it would be such a spoiler,
right?
Because everybody goes like the Harry Potter books or any but back then, like Jaws was originally a book. They published a new edition right before the movie with the poster cover art on it, and it sold like crazy. So it makes sense that, and it was written by Alan Dean Foster with credit to George Lucas.
Right.
So if you're a big reader and you don't want to wait for the movie to come out, there's going to be some books next year.
Yeah, and and that side quest here, but we had some knucklehead on our Facebook page, and George Lucas he's a. I'm sorry. Are your younglings still?
They might be.
Okay. So
they're great.
George is a freaking genius, right?
I don't have kids, by the way. They're not my kids. I'm very much single.
Yeah. Okay.
Just to clarify.
Your comment section later.
There you go.
For all of the men watching, and we know that you are.
That's look, she's like, I'm just saying. All right, so that's definitely going to be a TikTok clip right there. So if that doesn't boost our numbers, nothing will. But so this guy was like, George Lucas was just like, it's an independent filmmaker, and he wasn't concerned with corporate stuff. And the guy, like, he revolutionized the idea of merchandising. I mean, it's like in Spaceballs, merchandising, where the real money of the film is made. Lucas, he was like the tip of the spear for that. Nobody was doing merchandising like he was. There was so much merch that came out ahead of Star Wars, to include the books, but I think there was like lunch boxes. I don't think that they had the action figures happening just yet. I think there was still some stuff going on they were with Kenner at the time, I believe.
Yeah, Kenner invented the 3 3/4 scale figure, which is the standard today because of Star Wars.
Right.
There were slightly larger action figure army men, stuff like that.
Well, they were like G.I. Joe dolls prior to that. I mean, they were like
full size Barbie dolls, but they were like somewhere in between
like
size.
A Black Series and
yeah. But 3 3/4 became the standard because of Star Wars. So to say that George didn't have a mind for corporate finance is just completely ignorant, because, and also, yes, he wasn't involved with Disney, but he's not an independent filmmaker.
he was still dealing with 20th Century Fox. So you still had to appease someone. You know, other people passed on this. It's not like he was just like going to the theaters himself. He had to have distribution, and you will always have corporate overlords. People want their cut. That's Hollywood. That's how franchising movies just worked. So he knew, I mean, going in, and I mean, Carrie Fisher had said something years ago. I think it was, I think Georgia got like a Lifetime Achievement Award or something. And she said, every time I look in the mirror, I've got to give George $5 because he owns my likeness. He owns, you know, so he was smart. He was so smart about that. So with the whole toy thing and the whole merchandising thing, it's just part of this whole universe, and there's no getting away from it.
And also, don't buy the stuff if you don't like it.
Don't buy the stuff. Don't buy the stuff. But to say that, you know, that he's not like corporate, or that he's just an independent filmmaker, get out of here. No.
Well, don't forget, not only did he create his own company and make the technology he needed to make the movies he wanted to, at the best he could, but after that, you know, Skywalker Sound, ILM.
Oh yeah.
You know, he wasn't just an artiste. Yeah, he was pushing the business of filmmaking.
Right.
And we've all watched too many documentaries about the history of Star Wars where we think we know the full story. It's like you're getting the polished version that they're telling you. George Lucas nearly had a damn nervous breakdown filming Star Wars. It wasn't for his own, you know, shits and giggles. It was because the pressure of making a movie with the 20th Century Fox on his back, you know,
and a deadline. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So to sit there and say, well, you know, George was just, you know, there for the craft and everything. There was dollar signs, man. There was money involved. There was business, and yeah, everybody likes to kind of, you know, knock Disney as this evil corporate overlord. Can you imagine if George had sold to like 20th Century Fox or some of these other studios, how shamelessly like just cranking out crap material? Yeah. I always on my social and sometimes I always bring it like, it could be worse. We could be with Rebel Moon, you know.
Well, and people, and this is the double standard of the argument too. It's like, you know, Disney sucks. They put out this stuff and it's just, you know, the lowest common denominator, and they've ruined Star Wars and blah blah blah. But Andor's cool, and you know, Darth Maul is great, and all of this. Okay, sure, but who do you think greenlit all of those projects? So you can't shit on the system for not producing the kind of content that your narcissistic, you know, headcanon demands, while at the same time praising the same system for, you know, letting a few creators off the leash to do these, you know, like wild pushing the envelope things like Maul. Everything, the same people approve everything. The same people allow, they sign off on the budget, they greenlight the project, they let it roll out the door. Maul and Andor didn't like mysteriously like slip through the corporate cracks of Disney, you know. So if you want to shit on Disney and the process, then you better be ready to shit on every single project. But you can't do that because every single Disney project has not been terrible. There's been some missteps, yes, of course, but I'm sorry to say we've had more bangers during the Disney era than we did pre-Disney. I mean, hot take maybe, but
we were having a conversation this afternoon about the old EU Han Solo trilogy books versus Solo, and people were, you know, were kind of saying, you know, those books were great. You know, they were, you know, way better than the movie. Yada, yada. I'm like, Lawrence Cassian is the guy who literally developed. That was my cat jumping on the table, by the way. Lawrence Cassian basically developed Han in Empire, Return of the Jedi, and Force Awakens. He's, you know, George's director. He wrote the scripts and built what Han Solo was about. So for him to come back and do a backstory movie about Han Solo, I don't know how you get any better than that. Just because it was done under the Disney umbrella, like we said when I think Tim was on the show. You know, when it's a success, it's always some man's credit. You know, some guy, you know, the Tony Gilroys of the world, Dave Filoni's of the world. When it's a quote failure at the box office, because it was Kathleen Kennedy's fault,
right? Or Bryce Dallas Howard's fault, or something.
Yeah,
you better not besmirch Bryce.
They keep saying give Bryce Dallas Howard her own trilogy. I'm like, why? So you could shit on her too?
Right.
Yeah.
She needs one. She
She'd
needs
be
one.
great, but again, you need to get the fandom, the real fandom, to back her up from all the look like this summer it's a Supergirl movie, and all the griping about the casting, they're questioning her looks, they're questioning the story, and it's like, guys, if you think you could do better, please,
please do better.
Try.
I haven't seen Supergirl yet. I want to. I don't know if it's still in theaters. I hope it is because I'd like to go see it this weekend. The trailers look great. Jason Momoa as Lobo fucking nails it.
He's not acting. That's just he just
showed up. He just showed up to work. I mean, that's it. So Nicholas says Disney gave us more Star Wars. Was all of it good? No, not everything can be. Not everything can be Andor or Maul. Not everything is going to be good, and that is okay.
But at the end of the day, we did get Andor and Maul, and I don't like Andor alone. They could release 1,000 more shows that are bad, and I'd be like, it doesn't matter. They gave us Andor, and nothing else matters.
And Skeleton Crew.
That's true.
That's my
and I'll fight me outside about Ahsoka. I said that was one of the best shows.
Yeah, that got a lot of that did get a lot of.
I'll go out to the parking lot over Kenobi. Yeah. I'm sorry. Obi-Wan Kenobi was a good show. It was solid. I mean, it does not deserve hell. You know what? I'll throw hands over the Acolyte too.
Mm-hmm. I liked it. I mean, how can you? Chimera, bye. I mean, what do you want me to say? Yeah, I loved it. It was great.
I mean, it's like, and you cannot possibly, unless you are just so wrapped up in yourself, if you are that level of a narcissist that you believe that every single thing is going to be for you. This is a 50-year-old franchise that has spanned multiple generations. It's global. It's a household fucking name. For you to think that every single project is going to live up to your narrow-minded expectations is just stupid. It's beyond ignorant, and you need to get out of my fucking fandom. Like, like we always say, we love it even if we don't always like it. You don't have to like everything. Not every single project needs to be for you or about you. So please, I invite you to go shut the fuck up. Anyway, we should probably talk about Bad Batch. That's why we're here, right? Speaking of the F word. So Nicholas says, I wasn't a big fan of Acolyte, but if other people like it, that's okay. Yeah. Not every show is going to make everyone happy. Very good take.
Exactly.
It's impossible. I mean, it's impossible to do that. And I would argue that if you are trying to make everybody happy, you're not making art anymore. Yeah. Now you are just churning out just shit just to make that money. Nicholas says, I loved Ahsoka, loved Mando, even the weird third season. Yeah. I didn't hate Book of Boba Fett. Same. Didn't hate it, didn't love it, but I mean, I like that season 2.5 of Mandalorian in there. So I mean, that was kind of cool. That wasn't bad. All right, let's talk Bad Batch, y'all.
Okay.
So the F-bomb was dropped. Omega said we're supposed to be family, right? That's the F-bomb. Family. First time in the series. We've been talking about it. We've been alluding to it on the show.
Speaking of clickbait titles.
Speaking of clickbait titles, I mean, I gotta play the game. I gotta play the game, right? So, we've talked about it, and military folks will know this too. Squads fight together, families grieve together. That's why in the military, you hear about this family, this brotherhood, because when you trauma bond, and to say that Clone Force 99 and Omega are trauma bonding, that would be a gross understatement. They have the best luck ever. Everything blows up. It doesn't matter. Sid's like, I need you to go pick me like 500 daffodils, but be careful bringing them back because they're unstable and they'll explode. It's like, come on. Can they ever just go to get can I get 10 cases of Mantel mix, please?
And they only get 30%. That's their standard cut. 30%.
No.
Tony and I were talking about this before the show. I think it's interesting. We all understand the appeal of having a squad of soldiers working for you.
Right.
And if Sid is in the acquiring rare items of value, it would be nice if the guys you employ have some training.
They're not minors.
Explosive, the explosive MacGuffin of the week, like Tony was talking about. This Ipsium has never been mentioned before.
No, this is the first time.
He found another mention of it later on, but it was we were talking. I was like, yeah, she keeps sending them on these like very, high risk acquire this item mission, and they keep botching the job because this is not their skill set.
No, and they have the worst best luck ever because they get into all this shit because of their bad luck, but then miraculously because of their skill and some luck, they get out of it. But let's talk about Omega for a second. Let's talk about I loved this first episode because we're seeing her still trying to cope with the loss of Echo, but then the batch is trying to learn how to be there for her. And we saw a little bit of a scuffle between them. Tech came in hot. And but then they had that really beautiful moment. So Thalia, what are your thoughts on this whole dynamic now between Tech? Tech is really starting to come up.
Or is Tech to say, what is your
Crash,
issue?
you can start. You start.
Yeah, what is your issue?
No, I was just saying, or as Tech would put it, what is your issue?
What is your issue?
I remember when this first came out, like, I remember seeing so much stuff online of everyone saying, this is the first time we've seen like autistic representation in a show.
Yeah.
And I was like delighted to see that when it came out then. And I don't think I really understood, but I was like, hey, whatever, that's great. And now for whatever reason, when I saw it, I understood a lot more. And it was something we've never seen before. And I think it shows us a little bit of a deeper cut into Tech's personality.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like a deep cut because he's so logical. He's so cold. But at the end of the day, that's who he is. So this is actually like the most intimate look at Tech that we've seen in the show. So that was really cool to see. Poor Omega, though, this was like a little emotional. I know it ends well, but she's so young. And
she's so young.
This is a big concept to be dealing with. The fact that Echo left, he's not part of their little squad anymore. And that is a big deal for a little kid.
And you feel, and because she says it, she's like, but he's not here.
Right.
They said he's not really gone. He's just on a mission, but he's not here.
And he disconnected his comlink, and she was devastated. I mean, as I would be. So
yeah,
it was.
Yeah, and Nicholas said that Tech is still a sore spot for me in that show. Some of us, some people haven't seen it. That's why I say this is the second most heavy moment in the story of Tech. There's the first moment we won't discuss that.
And don't forget, they're still dealing with the fact that Crosshair is not with them either.
Right.
So this is the second time one of her brothers has left the family, the F word, and it's starting to weigh on her.
That's a great point. And for him to like, and I love that they're not afraid to have these big masculine dudes show a little vulnerability. And for Tech, I mean, he said, I process moments and thoughts, differently, but it doesn't mean I don't feel them, or it doesn't mean that I don't feel them any less than you. I was like, oh my God, my heart can't take it. Tony, what are your thoughts on all this?
So, I mean, you guys are all absolutely right. Honestly, like, sorry.
You're getting choked up. I know. It's okay. Me too.
Seeing Tech being developed as a character a little bit more here is great. The cynical part of me says, well, they kind of had to do this because they're running out of characters.
Wow.
You're
our Tech man. You just
I'm just saying, between Crosshair,
tell us how you really feel, Tony.
The squad of 6 is down to 4, and Wrecker, even though he's a fairly one-note character, he plays that note well. We know that note well.
Right.
It's great. Hunter is Hunter, like he's doing his thing. Omega, we're still like, she's still kind of playing the audience surrogate and all that, and
Sure.
and she does that well, but she's still growing as a character, still learning her place. But like Tech's the only one left, and up until very recently, he's just kind of been there. Like obviously we knew his value, but like outside of his skill set, we didn't really have anything of his character beyond that. So seeing him develop in this way is great. Now, seeing him at odds with both Wrecker and Omega at different points throughout these first 2 episodes,
and Hunter,
it's a little unsettling. Hunter to a degree as well. But I think that they did a very good job explaining it. It's very much coded in an autism or what's the other word I'm drawing a blank on now?
Spectrum is what I've heard. The autistic spectrum. I don't know what level he would be a functioning at.
Neurodivergent.
That's the one.
Yeah.
So I think it's very interesting that they're playing into that and giving us that type of story. I think it's very helpful for representation purposes and all of that. It does make it interesting, like looking at it from a cynical point of view of how would that have affected his combat effectiveness, and would that have created issues? Like, is that a gene that they necessarily wanted to manipulate, or is it something that just kind of happened as a side effect of something else? But no, I thought it was great to see that kind of development. I very much enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Nicholas says, I love animated Star Wars. It is the best for me. So many good stories and emotions. I feel encompassed so much better than the movies. And I agree. I think they have more room to breathe. If the Bad Batch was just a movie, we wouldn't be able to get this deep. But because we go 3 seasons, we really have time to explore them. And I honestly, and I still am feeling a little bit bad about this, but I didn't think that we needed 3 seasons of it. But now that we're, just about hitting the halfway point on season 2, I kind of wish there was more seasons, to get to, and I hope that we see them somewhere else because, I want to get to know these guys a little bit more. Like what happens with the accelerated aging. We know that Rex makes it all the way to Return of the Jedi, and potentially beyond. But what about the Batch? What about our boys? Where are they? Dave, we needed Tales of the Bad Batch. I know you did 3 seasons, but we need to wrap up. Come on. We gotta wrap up.
And this is a gripe. You hear a lot about the sequel trilogy. They say, Finn deserved more of a storyline. Yes, he did. We also know that there were cultural, again, going back to the corporate, there were decisions made based on different cultural taboos.
Sure.
That his story got cut off and it was more focused on specifically Rey and Kylo. Would I love an entire movie about Finn and his journey? Yes. Yep. Would I like more Poe Dameron? Yes.
I think we would all like more Poe Dameron. Yeah.
When you're packed into, when you're constrained by that idea of a trilogy of movies that has to tell a story from point A to point B, all these little, like we keep talking about the connective tissue in the Disney Star Wars era. The problem with the trilogy is that pretty soon you almost need to do like Harry Potter. You're talking 4, 5, 6 movies because there's so many different side quests, so many different characters that you want to see fully developed that you can't fit it all into a movie, or worse, it gets done poorly, and then you're about bad writing.
Right? Yeah, always, and they're really showing that. When we talk about families, we talked a little bit earlier. How soldiers are in squads, and combat makes a squad, but grieving makes a family. Right now, I mean, with the Bad Batch, families aren't built during the easy days. Everything's good when everything's good, but when things go sideways, that's when the nature of your family really comes into play. Who's going to step up and take care of you? Who's going to be there for you when you're your worst time of need, and they're learning that about each other too. This is all a brand new dynamic for them, and the way that they were kind of squabbling, in the cave and then outside of the cave on their way, it's like these are brothers. This is family. So now, I think finally we could safely say that they are a family. So I don't know. Thoughts? Anything? I mean, it's just I kind of want to watch it again, to be honest. I kind of want to go back and revisit.
I think my first time watching this, I thought it was filler, and now my second time watching it, I'm like, this is not filler at all. Although the Lion King scene, still a little weird. I still don't get, I don't get the vision there, but that's okay.
I legitimately have it in my notes from that when they were rappelling up from the stampede. I was like literally waiting for Crosshair to show up on the top and push somebody off.
Right. It's like, no, Mustafa, no.
That was really, really Lion King heavy. Even like the animals looked the same.
They did. They did.
Well, and these episodes had the first couple notes in this had a very Western vibe to this planet.
Very spaghetti Western, Clint Eastwood. Yeah.
One of my other notes was that this whole episode centered around the fact that the Marauder, we talk a lot about like ships like the Millennium Falcon, the Ghost being those characters' home. The Marauder is literally the shirt off their back. They walk, and it got carjacked.
Yeah.
So now they're stuck on this planet. They try to call Sid, and she, again, this one-sided relationship. It's you work, you do this for me. But when you get into a jam, hey, what can I do, guys?
Yeah, no.
Sid is fucking despicable.
Yeah, I don't. Most Trandoshans are. I know that's a little speciest, but I mean, I am prejudiced when it comes to Trandoshans because
and Quarrens, fuck those guys. They're all dicks.
Quarrens are dicks too. But I would like some writer needs to turn it around because. I understand Trandoshan culture as it pertains to the EU. They're primarily hunters. They're hunters, bounty hunters. That's their culture. They're kind of like
poachers.
If you watch Star Trek, I kind of put them on the same level as like the Jem'Hadar. They're a very like hunter, predator type of culture. But can we just see one who's not like an asshole that wants to like murder Wookiees or children or whatever? I mean, that it's just give us one. Just give us one. And Sid's not it. Sid is not the one. She's very much, perpetuating negative Trandoshan stereotypes there.
There have been moments, especially with Omega, like when they did the riot racing and they came to her rescue. You saw that almost like realization. Wow, I brought you for muscle, but you actually do have my back.
Right.
Yeah.
And now we're at that point. Is she going to reciprocate that?
No, absolutely not.
No.
She even threatens them. Like, my bad side. She's constantly threatening them. And now in this episode, Hunter even said, like, what makes you think we have to come back?
Right. Like, I mean, honestly, like I get the blackmail part of it, but realistically, like, what is she going to do? I mean, if you think about it, they're already on the run. They're already in hiding. She could drop dime about where they're staying, but they could just jump into the Marauder and bounce.
Yeah.
And go somewhere else. It'd be a little more difficult for them to find work. So granted, she does help them find work, but they're capable. They'll figure it out, or they could join up with Rex and Echo. And
I think they're starting to realize that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was kind of another theme that I saw, in these episodes. Cause again, this was another round that felt like Thalia, like you were saying, it's filler, but it's not like once you go a little bit deeper with it, it's not. And I think it just kind of goes back, and this is kind of a recurring theme that we're starting to see is that, who are you when the galaxy says you're supposed to be somebody else? The galaxy told you that you are soldiers, you're warriors, and not to jump too far ahead, but we see a couple of clone troopers that said that, it's like, when they were being taken away to wherever they're being taken away from or to, it's like, we're soldiers. That's what we're supposed to do. It's like, and the lady was like, you're retired. And he was like, a forced retirement. Like, we don't want to retire. So I think that's like thematically, that's what's going on too, or it seems to be anyway, is that they're really the writing for this is really focusing on, you know, like, how do we, you know, get out of this, you know, mold here and develop ourselves into something else, you know, and everyone's trying to figure it out. You know, Omega's trying to figure it out. The individual members of the batch are trying to figure it out. And they're all doing the best they can, I think, with what they've got. So with this, when they, you know, since, you know, they've moved on from the whole mining incident, and, you know, they got carjacked, and they meet up with these youngsters who are being forced to mine. And there was, you know, we talk about like the Lion King scene. There was a very Temple of Doom scene when the kids were all like pushing the mine carts across that bridge. I was like, okay, little Temple of Doom.
And just the rope bridge alone at the end, you know, they got people on either side. They're closing it. I was like, cut the rope, Eddie.
Right?
We go for a ride.
Hot take: the best out of the entire Indiana Jones franchise is Temple of Doom, and I'll meet you in the parking lot for that one too. It's so good. It's so bad, but it's so good. Anyway, so we know that there's bad stuff out there. You know, the Empire's been the big bad right now, but now we see this Mako guy, and, you know, Omega, you know, when she said, you know, it's like, you know, the Empire's not the only bad guys out there, you know, but, you know, again, Tech bringing it home. He was like, yeah, there are a lot of people out there like him, but there's also a lot of people like us out there, you know. And like, Thalia, what are your thoughts? Because you're just like, oh.
It was really nice. It was really nice that he said that. But this really, if you look at it, was one of the darker episodes of Star Wars, just because of the themes that it was pushing.
Mm-hmm.
It was big. I don't want to say all corporations, but
Exploitation, really.
Yeah, but that we see every day at work. And I mean, even Omega saying you shouldn't have to compete for food.
Right.
Like, I was like, this is, once again, the Bad Batch is hitting too close to home and current political landscapes. Like, this was really, really dark. And again, I said this last week and I'll say it again. I don't recall it hitting this hard when I watched it the first time. I watched this as filler and I was like, whatever. They just did a weird side quest. And now I'm watching and I'm like, no, they're telling us the reality of what's happening to so many people at their job, in their life. And at the end of the day, we learn, like, the big boss is telling everyone, you know, we're struggling, we're barely having ends meet. And then they see the profit reports.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Let's be real. All of us are actually seeing the profit reports for all of these companies, even
100%.
though they are still laying people off and acting like times are really tough.
Mm-hmm.
We already have the data pad with the profit reports like right in front of us.
Yeah.
And we know that it's so, not to get too political.
Star Wars is politics. I mean, you can't have Star Wars without it. And it, like, you know, like you were saying, it's always been a social commentary and a reflection of the times. Even though this came out, what, 2016-ish? Or earlier or later than that? Was it 20?
Later
was it
than that.
2020? Was it
I
later
know it was
than
like
that?
2023.
Okay. So a few years ago. It came out a few years ago. But, you know, it's still, good Star Wars is always a reflection of current politics.
But I wish it wasn't. I wish, once again, I could be like, so weird. What a dark theme. What a dark, like, dystopian, fucked up way of viewing the world. And unfortunately, I'm like, no, this is actually incredibly fucking accurate.
Yeah. And even seeing Mako, like, in his office, just fucking mowing down. And then you're going to give these dudes like a bowl of soup to fight over? You piece of shit. Like, get fucked. Which he did, but still, it's like, but that's very much the state of things, though, isn't it? I mean, you've got billionaires and now trillionaires who are just living it up, and you've got You've got homeless kids with
They
that
could
amount of.
Yeah, they could solve every problem in the world in 5 minutes,
Yeah.
and they're opting not to. For what? I don't know. I don't know
It's
the
just-
answer.
I've always thought it was that wealth acquisition is an addiction. I think that at a certain point, I think it becomes an addiction because I mean, really, once you make like X amount of dollars, you don't even need it anymore. Like, and
No.
you're just making more money off of the money that's in your bank and all of these other things that you got going on. Like you don't, and depending on who you are and how much money you have, no door is closed to you. You could even like, I mean, you've seen like athletes, you know, multi-million-dollar earning athletes walking into like restaurants or like, oh no, your money's no good here. We're going to comp you this and motherfucker, they can afford it. They can afford to feed the entire fucking restaurant. They can pick up the tab for everybody. But I don't know, Tony, you were going to say something?
Honestly, like to me, I think like, and it's weird to say it this way, but like to me, the darkest and most real part of this for me was that even when Mako is like about to die, there are some of the kids who are actively trying to save him, working against their own interests.
Yeah.
Because they've been fed this story for so long that they think that he's actually helping them, despite knowing that he's not.
Such a good point.
It is a great point. Like when he said, yeah, if I do more, you know, he'll name me a top earner.
To get a bowl of fucking soup. That's what you win.
To get a bowl of fucking soup. And then when he was like, hey, can I get some water? That was, you know, very, very like Oliver Twist type of moment, you know, please, sir, can I have some more? And, you know, it's like he drank half of his canteen and he gave you a few sips and you're grateful for that. Like you're so beat down that you're grateful for the crumbs. You're grateful for the scraps. You're grateful for the sip, you know, but there are people like that. There are people who wear red hats that are like that. You've got people with three teeth in their head voting for people that have 3 yachts. It's like, come on, man, make it make sense.
People living in poverty being like, we can't tax the trillionaires. That's not fair. Like, it's wild.
I saw a thing today. This, again, another side quest. This guy, it was England, and England's working on passing something, a wealth tax, like where if you make, I think it's over $10 million or something, you're taxed like 2% on whatever you make above 10 million. And people are like, no, we can't do that. We can't do that. And the guy illustrated this with tennis balls. He said, this basket of tennis balls represents $11 million. So when this wealth tax happens, how much do you think, you know, you're going to have to pay? And he was talking to affluent, wealthy people, and they're pulling out like 10 and, you know, bunch of like all these little tennis balls or whatever. And he was like, no, it's not even close. He took one tennis ball and he had opened it up. It was a little, you know, obviously it was rigged. He opened it up and there were 2 tiny little tennis balls in there. And he said, this is what you would pay. This is 2% on this. You still get to keep all of your other tennis balls. You're still going to have your 11 million tennis balls, but you got to pay 2% on your 11 million. And even then people were like, well, you know,
but that could be me someday. That's the lie.
Yeah. And that's exactly what that is. So, and that's what Star Wars shows us. Star Wars shows us these things. That's why I've been going on a rampage online telling people that if you do not support diversity, equity, and inclusion, I'm not going to say the acronym, I refuse to because it diminishes it. If you do not support diversity, equity, and inclusion, you need to get out of the fandom because you don't understand Star Wars. You can't possibly be a Star Wars fan and also vote for people that wear red hats. You can't possibly, unless you root for the Empire and you cheer for the Empire, in which case, I mean, sorry for your loss because they get fucked up. I mean, so I don't know what to tell you guys. So I you know, and Star Wars has always been left-leaning liberal. George himself has said this. He said, I am a liberal. He's a hardcore liberal. So how could you ever be a right-wing conservative and say you're a Star Wars fan? It just it doesn't work. It doesn't align with you.
This episode. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Phil. Please.
This episode should be like required viewing in high school. Like, honestly, just this episode, it doesn't matter if you don't know the characters. It doesn't matter. Literally, just this episode and how they show the corporate brainwashing and just the greed and exploitation, all of it. It should be required viewing for high school, college, something.
Right.
I mean, even for if before you vote, go watch this fucking episode.
Yeah.
Like, I just.
And again, we you know, the old phrase, the old analogy, you know, it's the trees voting for the axes.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what's happening here. You know, this, and it reminded me of there was an episode in the Clone Wars where Ahsoka went to speak. It was Tony, you're thinking the same thing. She went to Mandalore, right?
Mm-hmm.
Talking to the
kids about corruption and
right.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if that doesn't just nail it, you know, and that's Star Wars, my friends. That's Star Wars. Star Wars has always been a cautionary tale. Star Wars, whether you like it or not, has always been left-leaning. Has always been liberal. So if you're not down with that, then I don't know, go watch, I don't know, some Andrew Tate videos and learn how to make date rape drugs, I guess. I don't know. I mean, whatever it is that, you know, the dude bro alpha males do, I don't know, but you're all beta cucks anyway. Anywho, so moving on, I guess. So let's talk some more about the clones, shall we? Really cool episode. We got to see the Zillow Beast return. I had forgotten about this episode, so when I saw that Republic, well, now Imperial Commando running for his life, I'm just like, Jesus Christ! Like, if you see an Imperial Commando running, then please do run, because what the fuck? Hey, Crash, can I ask you to do me a favor, please?
Yeah.
Just tell me, dude.
Okay.
Just tell me, because seriously, because I'm watching like 3 other windows. And then I want to make sure that I'm on time with whatever you need me to be on time.
Okay. Well, you're talking about the Zillow Beast again. This is a great callback from the Clone Wars.
Is it this one right here?
Yeah. And it was just a great way to say, you know, we saw in that episode they were seriously hinting that this was going to be a returning issue somewhere. And I love that. You know, it was just the opening of this episode alone was a great metaphor for aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, the commando trooper, you know, even a guy with a stun baton, you know, can't stop this little itty bitty baby Zillow
who looked like an alien. I like the design of the baby Zillow Beast, because it had a very similar like H.R. Geiger alien xenomorph type of vibe to it. I thought it was pretty cool.
And you know, and especially like, again, the batch just find themselves in another situation they are not prepared for. Thank you, Sid. We'll just track down this very valuable item, you know, a baby Godzilla that will somehow, you know, just whisk away and no one will notice. I feel bad for the freaking town people that got rounded up just because
they got rounded
executed. We're assuming, right?
Either work camps or whatever the empire does with people, but I mean, they're disappeared. Again, you want to talk politics? Yeah, a whole town gets disappeared because a ship just happened to crash in their backyard. Spice
mines on Kessel. That's where they got sent.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Maybe they're down with Kino Loy and Andor and
possibly
stuff for.
But the thing I really loved about this episode, and I mean, I was just jotting stuff down left and right, is that we get our first look at Dr. Hemlock, who is going to be the new big bad of this show.
Dr. Hemlock,
and it's great. You know, for season 1 they were dancing. We got a shot of him too. I mean, he just oozes creepy. I love it.
He does.
But this is where the whole Omega thing is starting to kind of spiral out of control. Where, you know, in season 1 we knew she was the value commodity, but we didn't know why.
Right.
Now we're starting to find out why, because he has taken over the Camino and cloning technology, and it's just, you know, he's got all these labs. You know, they got the secret lab. I've been told this week that I don't give enough love to the EU legends, so I'm just going to come out and say right now, the fact that we have Mount Tantus, brought, you know, even if you can't do it like in Heir of the Empire, it's not a literal translation, but I can bring you that location. It's just so cool that the Empire would use the Mount Tantus as their secret cloning facility. So again, here's another thing. Like Dave Filoni's famous for taking little pieces of the EU.
He's rescuing.
rescuing, recycling, whatever you want to call it, and working it into new canon, as opposed to trying to just do a full-on adaptation of 20, 30-year-old books.
Right.
I love that Mount Tannis is their secret lab location because it's familiar, it's connective tissue, and it's exciting. And these people are we finally have a true big bad for the Bad Batch.
We do. I am ignorant to the voice actor. Do we know? I'm sure we do know, but Keeper of the Holocron, if you could please. I don't like the character, but I could listen to that dude talk all day. I mean, he just chills up my spine, but
Absolute chills.
the delivery, so good.
You know what? His voice, you know what probably sounds like his voice? The headset that Bix is forced to listen to on Andor, it's probably just Dr. Hemlock's voice.
I want that.
I know it's not. I know.
I want it to be a thing. I want it to be a thing. That, yes.
Dr. Hemlock audiobooks torture.
Yeah, exactly. That would work. I would be terrified. I would scream.
Dr. Hemlock sings Taylor Swift lyrics. Yeah, just anything.
You've crossed the line. Crash, that's it. You've crossed the line. That's no.
It's unbelievable voice acting though. For a voice for everybody to collectively be like, this man is not safe to be in a room with. Like that's a lot of talent, honestly.
And again, it ties into what we know about the sequel trilogy and The Mandalorian. You know, this is the early stages of Project Necromancer. They've replicated the Zilla Beast. Oh, hey, that's my buddy Gil from Rebel Legion.
Hey!
I was telling him about the spy. Hey, Gil. Late as hell. Yeah,
We're still going. We're good.
We're still going. Holy shit, it's already an hour?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay.
You were on a roll there for a while.
I'm sorry. That's my bad, everybody. Sorry.
That's okay. But again, Hemlock, he's just this great villain. He's perfect Imperial because he's got no soul. He's got no morals. And, that's what made guys like Tarkin interesting, but you can't keep using Tarkin. So,
no.
And if you look at it, Rampart was more of a stooge than anything. He was the bureaucratic underling that has to, blow up Topeka City so that they could take the cloning equipment to a secret location.
Right.
But then they're going to throw him under the bus because they got to cover their tracks. He is a loose end.
And Rampart, you just kind of want to punch in the mouth. Like he's got a punchable face. You want to punch him every time he opens his mouth. You want to punch it. But Thalia, like you said, with Dr. Hemlock, you do not want to even be in the room with this guy.
No.
Like, I don't even care. Like, even if I'm not in his chain of command, I could be one of the custodians. I feel like he would kill me if I don't sweep up right. No, thank you. He got the fucking prime minister sent to him from Coruscant. I mean, bring him to me. Excuse me, what? How? I mean, he is in an Imperial prison on the Imperial homeworld, and you got him just shipped out Amazon overnight. Like, boom, done. And a high value political prisoner as well. This isn't just some insurrectionist or just some Joe that they picked up off the street for delinquency. This is the prime minister of a planet and a culture. I mean, so it's like this guy's got some pull. And I honestly, at this point, I don't remember where he connects to everything. So I'm watching this essentially with fresh eyes.
So the voice actor is a guy by the name of Jimmy Simpson. He's done a lot of other voice work, and I have seen him in some live action roles, but he's never really been a main guy in anything.
What is there anything that famous that we might know him from?
So I'm looking over his IMDb now. He was in 2 different episodes of Black Mirror.
Oh,
okay.
That's creepy. That makes sense. That checks out.
He was in 8 episodes of Walking Dead: Dead City as a character named Dillard.
Okay.
He was on a series called Dark Matter, but it was only like a.
I saw that.
I remember Dark Matter. Yeah.
Was that on Apple TV? Or no? Oh boy, I could be confused.
Dark Matter was that's one of those obscure like sci-fi Black Mirror, Twilight Zone type shows.
It's an Apple TV show.
It was
Yeah.
Apple TV.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw that.
And honestly, like he looks older here with all the shadow on him, but
Yeah.
the guy kind of looks like that too.
Oh, okay.
And I will say it is nice to see a little LGBTQ representation for Star Wars bad guys here with the notch in his eyebrow. It's nice
Is
to
that
see.
what that is?
I didn't know that.
I know it's a very common thing. I mean, it's definitely a little bit of a stereotype, but it is definitely a thing where if somebody has a notch in their eyebrow, it's supposed to signify that they're bi.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
have a scar in my eyebrow naturally, so good to know, I guess.
Okay, well that's interesting. You know what? I think we should deep dive that and see if that was the intent.
Yeah.
Is it, or if that is just a scar, or if that was the animators just sending a message, saying, hey, we support
I
you.
do have one other particular note from this episode, going back to the very beginning with the Republic trooper running around with the Electro staff.
Yeah.
At this point, like the Empire knows exactly what the Zilla Beast is. It knows what its strengths and weaknesses are. Why are you giving that weapon to people that are trying to control that thing?
Right.
Yeah.
Jack Porkin says, or they just have a shaky hand shaving.
Or you fall in your shower and you get a scar. That's why it's fine.
Oh, well, yeah, see.
Concussion and everything.
Damn, seriously?
Yeah.
Ouch. That's
yeah.
so good.
How long ago did that happen?
Like 6 or 7 years ago.
Oh, okay. So you're okay now.
Yeah, I've had another concussion since then. So.
Okay. That's why you fit in so well with us.
All my concussions.
There you go.
Yeah, I've had multiple.
Well, and just to go back to like the evilness of the Empire, we've been seeing this in episodes lately. They're shamelessly rounding up, towns of people. Scorch, if I'm trying to love the EU guys.
Scorch was there. He made an appearance.
It broke my heart to see a guy from Delta Squad being such a dirty bastard.
Yeah.
And it just reminds you that Gregor couldn't do it. He couldn't put up with this.
Gregor, I can't wait to see him again. Soon. So we need to talk about this guy right here. Let's talk about Crosshair next, because I have mixed feelings. So this lieutenant,
Lieutenant Nolan.
Lieutenant Nolan.
That's
Lieutenant
known as
douchebag.
douchebag.
Yes.
Lieutenant douchebag.
Connected to that one.
Right?
If Pong Krell had a bastard son, I don't know.
Yeah.
So
Not far off.
this guy, and what a great episode. What a heartbreaker of an episode, but what a great episode, because again, we're learning about the clones and how the clones won, but did they really? They were always disposable. We're now finding out and seeing firsthand that they're thought of on the same level as droids. We're gonna just cast you aside.
Used
And
equipment.
yeah, like he said,
Got
like, you fucking asshole. I'm not used to used equipment. Like, shut the fuck up.
incredibly degrading.
And what was Mayday? Was that the
Yes.
clone commander's name?
No.
These guys, man. I mean, they've been there for, what did they say, 36 rotations?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
Well, they were supposed to replace 36 rotations ago. That's not even how long they've been there, just how long they've been there past when they were supposed to have gotten support.
So potentially, if we're saying a rotation is approximately a month, give or take, depending on the planet. So they've been there 3 years longer than they were supposed to be. Ish, right? 36 months.
I thought a rotation is
Yeah,
a
I thought a
day.
rotation was supposed to be a day.
Oh, is it a day? Well, I don't know, man. They looked a little worn out for being there just for a
You,
month.
though,
Well, they
'cause I was
did,
like,
but they're
that's
also-
not 36 days of not shaving. That's
Yeah. They've been there for a minute. Long enough for Mayday to really wrap up his armor and shit, looking really kind of cool, but to keep warm, I would imagine. And this moment right here, Crash, I'm so glad that you found that image, because for all of our podcast listeners, I'm sure you can see it and enjoy this, but this is the scene with Mayday and Crosshair, and Crosshair was humping. He was, I mean, this is why I'm conflicted with Crosshair, you know, because we always knew that he's got some goodness in there, but I mean, this is this the turning point? What are your thoughts?
I think it is. I was really, I was trying to hype this episode on our Facebook page, and I was telling myself, I was like, okay, I can't make it about Crosshair again. I can't, but really both sides of the family, not just the guys on the Marauder and Omega, but this episode, this is honestly, I feel, when Crosshair finally realizes that Hunter was right.
Yeah.
Empire does not have your back. We were saying on the season finale, he went with the Empire because it was the safe choice. It's what he knows. Good soldiers follow orders. Mayday himself, man, he said it. He's like, good soldiers follow orders, but is it worth it? And this is Crosshair. I don't know if you guys noticed, there was a recurring vulture bird.
Yeah.
Circling every time Crosshair would show up. If you remember on Clone Wars, Ahsoka has a certain bird called Morai that would be around whenever she would show up. Yeah, people will notice there was a bird in the background. It became a metaphor for her and whatnot. When Mayday told him that, those birds, they're survivors. And you could it was like a real metaphor for Crosshair's life at this point, where he's like, this is what I know. And the people I'm with, these people do not have my back.
No.
And we have another slide that just when they get back to the base, and
I don't want to do it. I don't want to show it.
Okay,
I don't want to show it.
That's fair.
See it now.
I'm gonna.
I mean, it just broke your heart.
That is a bad one.
Because,
that's rough.
And that the way that Lieutenant Nolan just completely disrespected Mayday's death after what they'd been through, and he just sauced him right there.
He sauced him. That's probably the first good decision Crosshair's made is to sauce that lieutenant on the spot.
Yeah.
And I just
and but does that redeem him?
No. I don't think. Well, that's a great question. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
What do you guys think? So Thalia, you're saying no. You don't think it's a redemption.
First time I watched it, though, I thought it did. Also, again, the first time I watched it, season 1, I was like, Crosshair's my favorite character. For what? That's fucking embarrassing. Embarrassing that I continued that into season 2. And I guess this is with my big payoff of being like, this is why it's my favorite. No, still no. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking 5 years ago, but no. Let's not forget that wonderful woman on the other planet that he killed, in the first.
Oh,
I know. I'm not coming up with names, but it was just brutal when he was with Jesus. Yeah, my mind is cooked right now. But we talked about this earlier in the season. No, this doesn't. No, either I. No.
It was that she was like the governor.
She was the governor. The Empire was trying to replace her with one of theirs,
and he just took her out.
He just fucking took her out. Yeah.
Unarmed. So Tony, Crash, is this enough redemption for him at this point? I mean, he made a choice, arguably the best choice, but is this enough for redemption?
So I'm going to say this. This is a turning point. It is not redemption.
So crossroads for Crosshair?
I spent a long time after watching these episodes thinking about this, because my first instinct was, of all the things to turn you, why would it be this guy that you barely know, versus all the things that they've actively done to your supposed brothers in arms?
Right. So but Jack says he saw the truth that day, but not enough for redemption. Okay.
But the thing for me, and I think from what we know of Crosshair up to this point, I think the thing that triggers him is here's a character that, despite not liking the orders, despite all the other problems that were going on, this guy still was following orders, was still being a good soldier, and that was not enough for the lieutenant to actually give a damn and to try and do anything to take care of him.
That's a good point.
And at that point, that I think is the trigger for Crosshair to say, if me being a good soldier isn't enough, then nothing's ever going to be enough. They're never going to have my back. I'm never going to be one of them.
I love when Tony gets like this.
And so at that point, it's okay, well, if this is not my place, then burn it all down.
Yeah.
Now, again, it's not redemption by any means, but it's a step on the path. And whether or not he can ever be redeemed is a different question. But whether or not he can start to make amends and start to atone for the things that he's done, we'll see. We'll see what happens from here. Like, honestly, you would think that because there are plenty of other people on this base that are supposedly loyal to the Empire and to this guy that he just killed, that he probably should have just been killed right then and there. And he's probably too tired to have been able to do anything about it, as great a soldier as he is.
Yeah. I mean, he just fell out after he did it.
But then apparently, this doctor saved him, and we don't know for what purpose just yet. Honestly, this was the hardest part of watching these episodes, is because I definitely agree. The first few episodes, they're not exactly filler, but they didn't there wasn't a whole lot for me to say, oh, I really want to talk about this.
Okay. Yeah.
But then we get to this episode, it's like, now I have to stop. Like, no. That was where I want to keep going.
Right.
So,
right. Crash, thoughts, please, because this was a tough one.
Tony takes him to church, man. I love this. I'm going to add on to that for the Mayday and the clones that were there. This reveal at the end felt like such a betrayal. Yeah. We know the Empire doesn't care about the clones. We know the Empire doesn't care about anybody. But the idea that they would stick them on this desolate world, with these crates, they don't. Crosshair, I guess, even told you don't even know what's in these crates, and Mayday said, new toys for the new shiny military. And I'm like, that is the biggest insult of all to the clones, is that you put these guys in this hellhole of a planet where they whittle down, the way that you can see they staged all of their dead brothers' helmets, like probably where they sit, as like memorials to them as they dwindle down. And then the last man standing literally goes, "We're protecting the replacement's gear.
Right.
It's a freaking closet." And for Crosshair, I don't think this is redemption. I think this is his low point, and what he does from here, what is done to him from here, we'll find out. Because they send him off to Wayland, Mantanis, and they're going to experiment on him, and it's like, okay, what happens next? Because he is at his low point, and this is when Crosshair really has to decide who he's going to be.
Yeah, and I think at the end of watching these 4 episodes, I think we could probably walk away with one question that everyone's asking. It's like, who am I now? Not even so much where do I go from here, but who am I now? I think that's the batch. With who am I now? We saw Tech had a couple of really great moments with Omega. Omega's trying to figure out who she is and how best to cope with these things. I mean, she lost one of her brothers. She lost her home, and Thalia, like you were saying, being so young and having to deal with all this, in this large galaxy, and obviously, I think except Wrecker. I think Wrecker is the only one who's just kind of like, I know who I am. It's like he's just fucking Wrecker. I mean, it's like, and we love him for that.
That was incredibly accurate, honestly. Great voice rendition.
Thank you. I feel like I channel a lot of Wrecker.
That's good.
Oh, really? What did that survey say again? Let's call that survey up.
I don't remember now. What was?
Oh, you were Omega. Remember
Oh, I was Omega. Yeah, that's right. No, I should have. There was I think I still have it up on. I've got like 50,000 tabs open, but it's the. I think it's on StarWars.com. You know the which member of Clone Force 99 are you? It's just like one of those.
Oh.
One of those little quizzes, and yeah, I ended up getting Omega. I don't know how that happened. I thought for sure I was going to get Wrecker or maybe Tech, but not Omega. So coming up next, homework for next week, episodes 13, 14, 15, and 16. Does that take us to the end of the season? 16 episodes?
Does.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So that's going to be a nice place to wrap up, and then we'll still have a few more episodes left in our season. So maybe we'll play some games or something, because I got some ideas. Or Thalia, if you would like, maybe we can dive a little bit more into the astrological side of things, because I know I've got questions.
We could.
All right, so we'll see.
Let me know. So I'll do a PowerPoint. I'm big on PowerPoints. Yeah. And I don't use AI in my PowerPoints, all black and white text only. That's it. Very boring.
No, I mean, you know what? But that's all right. It's all about the delivery. It's all about the
classic looking at this point. It's like refreshing to see just no aesthetic. Like, give me nothing. Just give me text.
It's like the old school, like generic government issued food items, like the government cheese cans and government peanut butters. It's a black and white label.
Feels vintage. It's cool.
It feels vintage. Simple is just vintage. All right. Do we have anything else before we say goodbyes and pimp our merch and all that stuff?
No, I think we're good.
Yeah, my cat's in a weird. I don't know what he's doing, but that's okay.
All right. So we went a little over today. That's my fault. I apologize. Went on a couple side quests. Sorry.
I feel like this has been a rather short episode compared to what we sometimes do.
It went by quick, didn't it?
Yeah.
It felt like it went by pretty quick, even though we're like 20 minutes over. That's all right.
Well, we've been running. Yeah, we say an hour, but we usually do an hour 15, hour 20. You know, when we hit the 2 hour marks, usually when the ladder starts talking to us, it's like, okay, you got wrap it up, Tom.
Yeah, I know. And I've just about hit my wall though too. So it's like,
Yeah.
You guys are tired, so let's call it.
We're a little sleepy. We're the sleepiest kids in the world. All right, so thank you everyone for joining us, as you do every week, maybe, I don't know, but we do know that you could be anywhere else doing anything else, and you're choosing to hang out with us tonight. So thank you very much, and of course, always thank you, a special tip of the hat to all of our active duty service members and veterans out there for everything that you do to keep folks safe. So we appreciate that. So we are going to be back like we always are, live every Friday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube and Facebook. If you like what we do and you need a safe space to talk about Star Wars, join our safe space community on all the platforms at the SWS Show. Drop your thoughts, theories, and hot takes in the comments. Tell your friends, tell your enemies. Join the safe space. And if you'd like to get some of the sweet, sweet swag that Crash and Tony are modeling for you, head on over to circleofnerds.com/merch and pick up a t-shirt or a little I don't know, bandana for your pet, or a mug or some sticks or whatever else you want to get. We've got a bunch of stuff over there. circleofnerds.com/merch. Don't forget, next week, homework, episodes 13, 14, 15, and 16. And once again, we got anything else before we head on out? Any last words? Oh, Thalia, let people know where they can find you, please.
Astrology Jedi on TikTok and Instagram. And Anakin says hi. He wants to make sure he has a good angle right now. He's looking good.
Anakin's been kind of a ham the last couple of weeks, right? I mean, he's been all about it.
He's getting an ego, I think. So we got to be careful.
I mean, that tracks. That tracks. I mean, it's the name fits. The name fits.
It does.
All right, so that's gonna do it. Let's see. Make sure I've got all my buttons lined up here. I think I do. The first one worked tonight, so I was happy about that. That means our closing is gonna crap out on us anyway. So that's gonna do it for us, folks. Thanks again for joining us. We are done. We are gone. We are out of here. And as always, Star Warriors. Until next time, rise, resist, rebel, and we will see you all next week. Bye, everybody.